Hello guys, today I'm going to be doing a video on ARK Survival Evolved using the RTX 3060 Ti. We're running a Ryzen 3700X with 32GB of RAM running at 3200MHz. Alright, let's jump into the settings. We're going to be running the game at 1080p on the low preset. We're going to set the render scale to 100% to make it 1080p. Yeah, let's jump into it. Alright, since we're getting a CPU bottleneck, I went ahead and enabled the CPU overlay as well so we can see if any cores are being maxed out. And from the looks of it, not being maxed out, we got like a high of 70% on CPU core 3, I believe. And the maximum that I saw was like around 50%, 50 to 70% was the normal. But the majority of our cores are sitting between 0% to 10%. Oh, and I almost forgot again, but thank you guys for 600 subs. We actually hit it during the Sniper Elite 5 videos, so thank you for that. And yeah, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, next up is 700 subs, so let's get it. That is such a creepy looking animal, dude. Get me away from me, please. Stuttering a decent amount. Game looks pretty nice. Even though at 1080p, we definitely need some anti-aliasing going on with the trees and the bushes. Getting 120 now, 120 FPS now from 170 on low. It's a giant leap in how the game actually looks visually, but the stuttering seems to have calmed down. Not really seeing it as often, and I'm not noticing it while playing either. Feels very smooth so far. Oh my god. High settings doesn't look too much different except for the reflections. That looks way better, but the game looks pixelated still. I don't get why. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and check if there's anti-aliasing in the setting because the game looks kind of pixelated. Let's go ahead and run through the jungle since that will be very taxing on our GPU. Yeah, playing at high settings kind of feels a bit clunky. Yeah, mouse movement definitely feels a bit weird at high. Let's go ahead and play at epic settings. I'm guessing we should probably get 70-80 FPS, which is kind of crazy. You would expect a lot more, but let's see how it runs. Oh my, 60? No way we're getting 60 FPS on Epic. How are they expecting someone with a... What was it on Epic? A Titan X or a GTX 970 to run this game at high? That's never gonna happen. Oh, that's a big stutter right there. We are pretty much locked at 60. Do get some dips into the high 50s at times, but getting a pretty locked 60 FPS. Kind of disappointing, since we are testing a pretty beefy card that's meant for 1440p gaming, so it should absolutely crush 1080p gaming, but still getting 60 FPS. Trying to pan the camera around. It's not the smoothest, but I mean it's fine. Oh, look at the reflections. Game does look really good though at Epic, especially the lighting. I gotta keep saying it, but the lighting is really good. Look at that, it looks so bad. Whoa! Get off me. Dude, that... Oh my... That dude has killed me twice now. So I'm probably gonna cut all that out. I did a whole portion of 1440p low and medium, and it turned out that it wasn't actually running at 1440p even though it said that it was. So I switched it down to borderless windowed, and it's actually running at 1440p now. GPU is fully maxed out, getting 170 FPS. The game looks like garbage. Looking like a PS1 game that's running at 1440p. So let's go ahead and skip that and jump up to medium setting. Max out at resolution scale. Apply, save. It looks so much better. And we're already at 80 FPS. Starting to rain, but even though it wasn't raining before, it was still getting 80 FPS, so that's fine. Not really getting affected too much by the rain. But the fact that we're getting 80 FPS at 1440p medium settings on a game that's a few years old now, very disappointing. Even though our frame rate is kind of disappointing, it's still running decently well. Doesn't feel laggy or anything like that. The mouse, oh my god, this dude's huge. We get around 95 FPS, 95 to 100 FPS outside the jungle, and once we actually jump into the jungle, we get sitting in the 80s, the mid to high 80s, or even low 80s here. But the stuttering is mostly gone. It was far worse at the start, but I guess once everything starts loading in, it will start running better. But we're still getting 80 FPS. Let's run into the jungle and see what frame rate we get then. So far, I like the high preset the most, with how the game actually looks. High and Epic by far look the best. I mean, as you would expect, I guess, but it definitely does look far better compared to medium and especially low. Alright, let's go ahead and jump up to Epic since high wasn't too much different compared to medium. No way we're getting 50 FPS. Okay. Oh no. Getting 50 FPS at 440p. That's kind of crazy. But honestly, 50 FPS is not too bad. Still plays fine. It's not the smoothest compared to playing at 90 FPS, but it's not bad either. But ideally, with a 30 series card, you don't want to be playing at 50 FPS. Please leave me alone. Oh, I'm leaving. I'm sorry. Leave me alone, please. 47 FPS here. The aiming definitely takes a hit. Is he still chasing me? Please. Oh, this area was super demanding before. 45 FPS. 43 FPS. That is really bad. Being here in 4K will just absolutely kill our FPS. Yeah, 43 FPS is getting pretty laggy, to be honest. 50 FPS is pretty doable. Low 40s is not. Good spot to go ahead and jump up to 4K. Now we're getting 80 FPS on low settings at 4K. This honestly does not look like 4K. And 1440p didn't look like 1440p. Normally they look way sharper. But just how the game's made, I guess. What's that dude doing down there? He's spinning around that one other guy. Okay, we're getting 70 FPS on... Oh, okay, 100 FPS here now. But 100 FPS on low settings when the game looks like this is very bad. It's a very bad sign. We're going to be getting 40 FPS probably at high and medium. And 20 to 35 on Epic. That is not good. Okay, we're getting a range between 80 to 100 FPS on low. So let's go ahead and push it up to medium. Game looks way better here. Yep. I did say 45 FPS on medium and high, and we're getting 45 FPS for medium. Let's go ahead and run back to that little view at the cliff. Probably gonna fall down into the low 40s. 38 FPS. Super laggy now with the mouse. Definitely would avoid playing this game at 4K with a 3060 Ti. I wonder how a 3080 will do now, or a 3090. Probably a little bit better, but still won't be playable at 4K. Maybe we'll get 60 FPS max. Fighting each other. Funny. Okay. Let's go ahead and push it up to medium. We won't waste too much time at 4K. Oh, we're already playing on medium. Let's go ahead and play at high settings. 4K. Apply. Ah, I think the main difference between medium and high is the resolution scale. I see. It's a bit misleading how you choose your resolution and then they change your scale anyway for you. Just play at high. Normally games don't do that. But we're getting 30 FPS at high settings, so we dropped by 20 FPS by going from medium to high. Which is kind of weird because at 1440p we didn't really get that. We just pretty much sat at the same FPS. But 4K, whole different game I guess. Dropped by 20 FPS. Moving over to the little cliff. 28 FPS. Dude, this is not looking good for 4K Epic. Epic settings. Apply. VRAM is sitting at 6 gigs. So we still have some room on the VRAM side. CPU sitting at 5%. Game's running at 24 FPS. My guess was that it was going to be running at mid 20s to the low 30s. But we're going to fall into the 22 FPS. This is so unplayable at this point. Whoa. That's crazy. Alright, I think that's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. If you did, give it a like and a subscribe. How do you appreciate it? See you next time.